Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're probably wondering why I am not in my movie set. Well, it's because I watched Hereditary and the movie did scare the living crap out of me, and I am too scared to go to my movie review set. And I'm being completely honest. So, just for this review, since I'm feeling a little scared and a little jizzled out because of what I saw from the movie, I think I am safe in doing this movie review over here. I hope y'all understand when a movie does affect your mind so intensely that you have to do your review somewhere else. So, let's get on to it. Because of this movie, I do not want to hear a clicking sound ever again. I really mean it. Now you see how that clicking noise really annoyed Shrek? Anyway, so while this review, you don't mind if I hold on to my lightsaber because this lightsaber weapon can protect you from literally anything. And when you have the Force from Obi-Wan or Luke Skywalker or Anakin, it gives you ultimate conquer over your fears. So, yeah, I really need to hold on to this lightsaber while I review Hereditary. So, please bear with me.
It was a blaster, an elegant weapon for a more civilized age.
Hereditary is a 2018 psychological horror film written and directed by Ari Aster in his first debut film, and it stars Toni Collette, Alex Wolff, and so many others. So this movie centers around a family tragedy. They're very conflicted about the passing of their grandmother until they realize that there are some very dark secrets within the family and their house. Something weird is going on with themselves, people are acting strange, and then they eventually realize that there is something that's not really right with them. And once the rabbit hole goes deeper into the truth about what's really bothering them, some stuff gets very twisted, and that's all I have to say about Hereditary.
Here today, I know my mom would be very touched and probably a little suspicious.
You know, going into this movie, I really did not know what to expect. People were telling me that this was one of the most disturbing movies that they've seen, and it's like, you know, the new Exorcist, and it's one of those horror movies that's probably going to become a classic, like, you know, The Shining, Psycho, and all those others. But when I really went into this movie, I wanted to have my own opinion, and I have to say that Hereditary is probably one of the greatest horror movies I've ever seen in my life, period, because this is a movie that really does know and understand the horror genre, and that is thanks to the direction and writing of Ari Aster.
I swear I can feel them in the room.
Oh my God! I am honestly impressed with how Ari Aster written and directed this film, because it's really impressive that this is his first debut film and he was able to make a movie that is so frightening and so psychologically disturbing that it made people and audiences just question about what was this movie about. And just the way that he took this film into the direction that he wanted, you can tell that he was a person that really understands the horror genre. He understood it, and he knows what things worked and what things can really scare people. And coming from his creativity and imagination, it's just really shocking that he was able to come up with these ideas and put it in film, like a film like Hereditary, and just making it expressive to audiences worldwide about what they were going to think of. It's just like, whoa, what were you doing? And that's what Ari Aster did. He was just fantastic in making this movie.
And, you know, I feel like there is, I've said this before, but I feel like there is this complacency that comes with watching horror films. People, yeah, like people know the formulas, they know the tropes, and it becomes like a type of comfort food, right? Where
Now, what I appreciate with what Aster did with the movie is how he maneuvered all these type of controls over the editing, the cinematography, scene transitions, because those are the things that he was able to manipulate and change to make the fear of the movie come alive. And he does such a very fantastic job with editing, sound editing, and silence, things that make you feel as if you're really wrapped up and something is going to be after you. And he does a great job of making you feel as if you're really in the environment of the film, because once he uses those type of camera tricks, especially within filmmaking, he's able to make something that seems so simple, but even more scary with all these long takes, you know, shots in the darkness, scenes where people are at night and they feel like there's something going on. He's able to make these scenes so complex and so grand that you can feel your heartbeat within a rapid second, and your brain is just like, what? Now, perhaps the best thing about Hereditary are the actors and their performances, because they gave out such powerful and wonderful performances. Everybody did awesome. They did a great job in scaring me, but the one actress that I absolutely loved was Toni Collette. She scared the crap out of me, but actually the way that she acted in the film, it made me really praise her performance, because she is a very talented actress. She knows what she's doing. She's really able to get into character and discover what her character needs and motivations. And she is an actress that really does deserve more praise. I kind of feel very upset that she hasn't been nominated for a movie like Hereditary, and she's an actress that has a lot of talent in her. She deserves more praise. And Toni Collette, if you're watching me right now, please, I have to let you know that I will still support you, and I will always support you until you get your Oscar, because you are a wonderful actress. I shall always support you, Toni Collette.
You ever raise your voice at me? I am your mother. All I do is worry and...
Now, normally in a movie review, I would talk about cinematography, editing, sound design, and of course, Hereditary excels in all three. Great cinematography, powerful editing that really does scare the audience, and not much sound, because this movie does rely on silence and making, you know, the fear come alive. But what I really want to discuss in this movie review of Hereditary is the psychological outcome of how this movie can just disturb people, because this is a very, very disturbing film. And it's because of the ideas of, you know, being trapped and feel like you can't really escape from this type of curse that you're having. And what this film does is that it really has this type of imagery that can really haunt people, and it's, you know, a type of movie that will probably disturb people and have these type of images seared into their brains. And for me, personally, when I watched the film, I did get creeped out by, like, the first and second act, and although the pacing is a bit slow, the third act is the one where it really, really scared me because of how the movie excels itself. Here is my honest take on my first viewing of Hereditary. When I watched the first act, I was introduced to the characters, their situation, what was going on to their lives. And the second act, when you get to the rising action, you begin to realize that there is something fishy going on within the family. Something is not right. There's a lot of these supernatural glitches happening. And then later, when you get to the falling action or the third act, you realize that the resolution of the film is something that left me shocked, and my jaw was dropping the entire time. And although Hereditary may be slow for some people, it does a fantastic job of setting up characters, setting up conflict, making sure that when you're scared, you're actually scared. It's not just jump scare this, jump scare that. And it's also a movie where writers and inspired filmmakers can learn not just how to make a horror movie, but how to build tensions throughout each and every act and scene. And when the movie escalated and escalated and escalated, my mind was just spinning around with all these really creepy imagery. And just by the very silence of some scenes, I was just frozen. I really was. I did not know what to do. I just had to go with it until the next scene played. Now that's Hereditary for you.
Mom?
I don't like this. Dad, I don't like this.
What's happening? Tina! Don't you ever raise your voice at me! I am your mother!
Although Hereditary was a movie that really scared me, it is a movie that made me love horror movies even more. And sure, I am someone that does get really scared, and sure, Hereditary has a lot of messed up things. But because of how this movie had a big impact on viewers and critics and even film students, it made me realize about how much creative control you can have when you make a horror movie. This is a movie that will really inspire filmmakers, future writers, and it makes them kind of dig into their minds about what can be scary. And these type of themes that are very frightening in today's world, with things that just creep us out and things that just make us stay up all at night. That's what Hereditary does. It does understand horror, and it basically brings back classic horror into cinema, onto the big screen, and just makes people think and think and think about what was this about. And that's the praise I have to give to Hereditary. It's kind of like bringing back the horror genre to today's world. The only flaw that I had with Hereditary is just a personal nitpick for me, and it's probably like, of course you're probably tired of me talking about pacing issues, but sometimes for me, like, there were times where there were some scenes that could have been cut out. Not the important scenes, but scenes that I feel like were a little unnecessary. You could snap out maybe 2 or 3 scenes that kind of slowed down the pacing for me. But nevertheless, I really do recommend Hereditary. This movie may be very disturbing for a lot of people, and it may be too frightening for people. But my advice is to just sit down, invite a lot of friends, don't watch this in the dark, and if you feel scared, just like what I said, pull out a lightsaber, pretend you're Luke Skywalker, have the Force within you, and therefore, I'm just gonna give Hereditary a very good 9.5 out of 10.
Stress on my family.
So guys, thank you so much for watching. Please understand that this movie really did scare me. That's the reason why I wanted to do my review inside here instead of my movie studio, because I was actually a little anxious to go to my movie studio to just film this movie review. But nevertheless, I'm very happy that I was able to express my opinion on Hereditary, and I can't wait to get scared again by Midsommar. I know Ari Aster is a very creative director, but he is becoming really big nowadays in Hollywood, especially in the horror genre. So please look forward to new videos as always. Thank you so much to everybody.